YouTube world. This is Eden again with another video, and today I want to talk about some of the mental, emotional, spiritual things that you need to configure within yourself in order to move forward. Okay, this is really bright. All of a sudden, let me dim that. And I'm sorry, I know I look a little crazy today, but it was a rough night with the kiddos, but I didn't want the day to pass without making another video, and I just wanted to prioritize that over trying to be cute. Not that I ever really try that hard, as you probably know from watching my other videos. But in any case, I hope you'll forgive that and you'll just listen to what I have to share with you guys today. So, I find that when I share with people, when I connect with people, when I have an opportunity to teach a workshop or anything, when I have that privilege of being in other people's company and them sharing with me what their dreams are regarding creating a brand or just even creating a product for their own use at home or whatever, a lot of times the biggest obstacle is not resources, at least not financial ones. A lot of times, or even information, because they're there getting free information from me or paid information sometimes. But the biggest obstacle is what people think they can achieve, what people think is allowed, what people think is reasonable. And that is the biggest thing that's holding people back from moving forward in my conversations. So I wanted to just lay out 4 things that'll help you move forward and that you will need to return to time and time again. And I have to return to those time and time again. Like when I first wake up in the morning, if I don't at least take one of these 4 steps and say, okay, how am I going to take this and infuse it into my day? Like, what am I going to accomplish today that resonates with this particular principle? And the 4 principles are: be unreasonable, 1, empty your pockets, 2, the third one is take the next step, and then the 4th one is kind of similar to the first one, but not exactly the same, and it is liberate yourself from the jails of others. And I'll get into that as we go into the video. But the first one, which is be unreasonable. Everyone has a goal that is unreasonable. A sort of, maybe it feels like pie in the sky. It feels, you can't really attain it. It's attainable, but it just seems like out of reach somehow. That goal, we all know what that goal is, whatever that goal is for you. And if it's a goal that just will not leave you alone and it plagues you, then it is probably a dream. It's probably something whispering to you, beckoning to you. And you just have to believe in yourself enough to believe that you can have it, that you deserve it, and that it'll be for good when you do it. Not just your own good, your family's good, but the good of others, the good of the community. So you need to be unreasonable. You want to be in Target, on the shelves of Target in 5 years. People say, oh, that's a big jump. You're selling at the swap meet now. Oh, that's kind of a big jump. Target is a big jump from the swap meet. Or Target is a big jump from your mind because you haven't even created a product yet. But 5 years is quite a bit of time, and in 5 years you could actually be in Target. You could be at a point where you're eligible to be in Target, but that goal no longer matters to you because you've smashed it in other ways and you've moved on to an even bigger goal than that, right? So don't be afraid to be unreasonable. You have to have something that is so big that it pulls you forward. It has to be bigger than your life circumstances. That pulls you forward, and that passion that you have for what you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to achieve, allow that to pull you forward. Okay? So be unreasonable. Don't let people talk you out of being unreasonable. Maybe it's something you just need to keep to yourself. Maybe you just need to, email me and say, hey, this is my unreasonable goal. I'll listen to it. Eden@prosperinbeauty.com. but you need to have an unreasonable goal that pulls you forward. Just don't make the unreasonable thing something that you attempt to accomplish in 2 weeks, because that is now completely unreasonable. But just give yourself a few years and say, this is my unreasonable goal. The second one is called empty your pockets, and that's something that I learned from a woman by the name of Natasha Willis, and she is a business coach, life coach, and she has a Facebook group called Coach Your Damn Self. And in it, she had a challenge, and on one day, one of the challenges was called Empty Your Pockets, and that really just stayed with me, because basically the teaching of that day was, we all have resources that we just take for granted, and we kind of focus on the things we don't have. We focus on what's missing. We're always focusing on the gap of where we are, the gap between where we are and where we want to go, and everything that's missing to get us on that gap. But a lot of times we have the resources with us on the other side of the shore. We have the boat, we have the map, we have the wherewithal. We just have to empty our pockets, meaning, look at everything you have. When we were kids, sometimes we'd want to get a treat or two, and maybe, we didn't have enough money, any one of us, to get, maybe the 2 treats to split amongst the 5 of us. But when we put our little pennies together, we had enough to get, I don't know, maybe 2 crunch bars or whatever we were trying to get, and we could pool our money and get the treat and then split it amongst ourselves. Or we wanted to go, take a bike ride, but we had 3 people and 2 bikes, so one person would get on the back of another person, and you'd go. So there's always people in your community maybe who you can share resources with. Sometimes it's just a matter of looking at, you're complaining about time. Okay, I know about time. I have 2 small kids, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, in addition to having a small business that I'm growing. So time is, it's hard to come by. But sometimes it means I'm waking up super early, or I'm going to bed late, or I'm doing things, just kind of sneaking in a video here or sneaking in an email there. You just have to kind of find the time. So instead of saying I don't have 8 hours, say, okay, I have 8 hours during the entire week. Okay, and how do I divide the 8 hours that I have during the entire week? Or how do I divide the 4 hours I have? Or I have 2 or 3 hours. What are my 20-minute increments of things that I can do? So empty your pockets. Think, okay, maybe I don't have $700 or $500 or $300 to start my line, but I have $40. What is the best use of my $40? Maybe I should go and look at a book. Maybe I should, do some of the free stuff that I've seen on the internet, or, take my free courses. Maybe it means getting a bottle of olive oil and, a bag of rosemary leaves and making an infusion. Maybe that's all you're doing, but you have to look at your resources. There's always more than you think you have within what you have. You have internet access. I know that. You're watching me. Even if you don't have it every day, you have it at least periodically. Okay, so what are you going to do with your internet access? Are you going to watch cat videos the whole time, or are you going to do some research? Empty your pockets. Really take proper inventory of what you have and be grateful for everything you have, no matter how small it seems, because from that place of gratitude comes an ability to look for solutions. It's a solution-oriented state of mind, as opposed to a problem-seeking state of mind, which does not move you forward to your unreasonable goal. Okay. The third thing is take the next step. You have to take the next step. Okay. What is the next step? Do you have to do the research to find your niche? I've talked about that extensively in several videos and free audio courses and so forth. But sit down and watch these hair tutorials and this and that and product reviews and figure out your niche. Take notes on them. That could be your next step. Um, you know, make an oil infusion, or just buy 3 or 4 ingredients to experiment with, or you know, go and talk to someone, a business owner, and see what their needs are. You know, make an effort to network. You know, go to a show and speak to other people who are making products. You know, make connections. You know, do something. You know, buy a book that, you know, teaches you how to make something, or you know, buy containers. Maybe you only have $40 each month. So slowly over that time, you can decide, okay, this is the list of things I need to get started with a whipped butter or an oil or my first conditioner. So this month I only have $40. I'm going to buy my containers. Next month I only have $40. I'm going to get the design made for my logo. Third month, you know, I am going to buy, you know, and that momentum, you know, creates progress, and you'll find that money will come to you easier. You know, the opportunities will come to you easier once you make those steps. You know, the universe loves rewarding people who are making momentum towards their dream. So when you show the universe, when you show God, when you show that divine principle that's really guiding everything, that you're willing to move forward, you know, providence steps up and things come to you. But they don't come to you by sitting at home and being scared to take the next step. What is your next step? Do you need to call someone? Do you need to email someone? You know, do you need to buy a book? You know, do something, okay? And the fourth thing is, you're going to have to liberate yourself from other people's opinions, okay? For the longest time, I did not do any sort of marketing videos, or really any videos. I would always do things that were around hiding behind the computer. I was pretty good about connecting locally and doing things like that. But my mentor was telling me, you need to get on the phone, you need to get on the phone, you need to get on the phone. I resisted it. And as soon as I got on the phone, it just completely changed the dynamic. So you don't want to, I think people are afraid of what people are going to think, you know. What if I hadn't made this video because I didn't have time to put on makeup and do all kinds of things, you know, because I have to run back in the house. My husband and I are potty training today. Yippee! So, you know, it's just like I don't have time for anything glamorous. Just getting this video done is an accomplishment. So you've got to think of things like the people who watch you, the people who are reading your blogs, the people who are there for what you want. They are not going to be judging you based on really small things. If they are your destiny clients, if you're destined to work with them, okay? So you need to really look at it from a perspective of, why do I care whether my relatives, my neighbors, my friends and family are not supporting me in this? Okay, whether they think I'm unreasonable or not. What am I doing or not doing because I'm afraid of what they're going to think? I'm afraid of their judgment, or I'm afraid that I'm not meeting up to their expectations. I'm doing the opposite thing of what they want. I'm going for the entrepreneurial role as opposed to going for a safe job that's secure. At the end of the day, people will not be paying your bills or giving you counseling when you're on your deathbed wishing that you had done the things you wanted to do. Okay, so you've got to liberate yourself from what other people will think. Okay, you have to think, what will I think of myself if I do this? That's got to be more important to you than what other people will think. You know, what will my children think? That's usually closer to what you would think of yourself, okay, if you're gonna listen to opinions. But even then, you know, you also have to kind of put your own focus and your own dream first, because you know what it is you're trying to accomplish. They don't see it. It's not their vision. They're not responsible for upholding it. You are. So you have to liberate yourself from the jail of other people's opinions and expectations. You got to do you, you know, and I don't mean in a selfish sort of way, um, where you're like, oh, I don't care about other people and this and that, but really just in a way that keeps moving you forward. You got to do it. So if you keep cycling through those, be unreasonable. Have that unreasonable goal. Empty your pockets, meaning take inventory of all the resources you have and be grateful for them, because from that place emerges the solution-oriented mind that can see solutions and doors where there were none before. Okay? The third thing is you gotta take the next step. Keep moving forward. Okay? Even if it's a small step, you gotta keep taking it. Because even if you take a small step and you divide it into 3 mini steps, by the end of the day, by the end of the week, you've done the whole step, right? And now you're more likely to finish, you know, the next thing. And then by the end of the year, you're up and running. Okay, so take the next step, keep moving forward. And the fourth thing is stop caring so much about what other people think. You know, just stop caring so much about it. You know, and be reasonable. Obviously, if you're speaking to a buyer, you want to understand what that buyer's needs are, right? So care what they think, you know. But even then, there comes a time where you have to respect your own opinion and maybe even intuition more, because sometimes it might be a buyer who doesn't necessarily understand the natural hair market. Okay, but you really have to stop playing small in order for other people to feel big in your life. Okay, so free yourself from that. And that's all I wanted to share today. I'm sending it to my list as Inner Beauty Friday, but it really is part of the 10 video playlist on how to start your natural hair brand. And I just want to end it on that note, and I hope that it helps you on the days that are tough, because some days will be tough. Nothing is a cakewalk that is worth it, you know, but at the same time, it's also not as hard as you think it is in your mind. You know, it's both easier than you think, and there'll also be some hardships that you didn't expect. But that's the case with anything that's worth it, right? Okay, so I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching the video series, and I look forward to seeing what you create. All right, bye-bye.